The next question to ask ourselves would be, do we need to be using all these input tokens? To answer that question and to gain some intuition would be to actually look at our data to see how those input tokens are getting spent. The first thing we have to do is we have to get the traces associated with one of these requests. And we do that by getting the session. And so you can see once again, Foyle is in the background suggesting the command that can achieve this intent. And we can look at it, and it looks like it did in fact correctly substitute in the correct session ID. So you can see some of that LLM magic at work. We can go ahead and execute that command, and we can see that we have multiple trace IDs. These are IDs that uniquely identify each call to the LLM. So now we can pick one of these requests in order to fetch the actual LLM request and response associated with this trace. Foyle has gone ahead and given us this little program so we can execute that. And in this particular case, the data gets written to an output file. So let's just go ahead and check that file to see what that data looks like. And this command is simple enough that I can write it myself. And so what we can see is that we have the actual JSON of the response that we got back from the LLM, OpenAI in this case, as well as the JSON of the request that's getting sent to the LLM. This isn't very human readable, especially when you consider the fact that the content in the request is marked down. What we'd really like to do is view that markdown in rendered format. We can ask the LLM again to help us do that by writing out our intent. As we described our intent, Foyle comes up with the correct suggestion to help us achieve that intent. And so let's go ahead and render that. And so we can see that we've gotten some HTML, which is the HTML report and rendering of the output. And one of the nice things about RunMe is that we can actually render HTML directly inside the notebook. So if we go ahead and rerun it after configuring it, we actually get the rendered HTML report. Here we have a table that captures the important parameters of the model request. And then we can actually see the requests that we sent to the LLM.